It's 8:31 right here in the Power Morning Party studio, and we have our special guest, as promised, Carl Romaine, life development coach, self-defense expert. He's going to help us with our New Year's resolutions. Carl, good morning. How are you?
Good morning, Jean. How are you?
I am fantastic. Now, my big question to you, Carl, you're going to help us. What are your New Year's resolutions?
I have so many New Year's resolutions, really. The way I try to look at life is it's not just about making resolutions. It's really thinking about your life in 6 basic areas. And I'd like to share those 6 basic areas for you. Can I do that?
Yes, that would be great.
Okay. So, of course, you have career. You know, really think about your career. What is it you want to accomplish this year in your career? What do you want to change? How do you want it to improve? Maybe you're not happy in your career. Maybe you're looking to make a transition or do something different. You know, maybe you need to get more education about your career. So think about your career goals and really think about the impact of actually achieving those goals. And I'm going to give you some sample questions a little bit later. But the first area is career. The second area is health. You know, as a martial arts instructor as well, I've been a black belt for many years. I constantly, you know, this time of year we constantly get bombarded with people coming in and they want to lose weight and they want to, you know, diet plan and all this stuff. And one of the things I really try to get people to do is embrace the idea of not just diet, not just fitness, but what is a healthy lifestyle? You know, what does that look like? And thinking about your health on a bigger global scale, it's going to be much more impactful for you because it's stuff that you're going to do every single day. It's not just about changing your diet now, but how will you eat forever? You know, really think about it that way. How will you work out forever? You know, you have your whole life ahead of you, so you want to be in the best health that you could possibly be. And relationships is the next area, and this is a big one for a lot of people. You know, when we talk about relationships, a lot of times we think about the romantic side of relationships and different things, but also think about family. You know, how about the relationships with our family members? Or if you want to relate it to your business, how about the relationship of those people who share your career, your peers, or maybe your coworkers? Another area, of course, is financial. It's a big one for a lot of people. What will you do to improve your financial status this year? You know, how will you learn more about finances, or what will you invest in? How will you help your money to work for you? The next area is spiritual. You know, how will you improve your spiritual life? What will you commit to actually do about that? And then the last one I think is one of the most important and sometimes overlooked areas, and that's your sense of well-being. You know, when I talk about well-being, I'm talking about your sense of happiness. You know, sometimes people say, you know, when I achieve this, I'll be happy. Well, the truth is you want to be happy all along. You know, do you tend to be a happy person in general? Do you tend to get depressed or sad? You know, what goes on in your life? What makes you happy? And do you know what makes you happy? So really trying to find a sense of happiness and setting a goal to be happier on a more consistent basis is actually a good goal to have. And it's something that I hope people will actually consider setting a goal for.
Well, that's fantastic. So this is basically the New Year's a great opportunity for us to sort of plan out, you know, take a real good look at our life in all these different areas.
Absolutely. It's a great way to get your year started. You know, 45% of people will set resolutions. Only 8% of the people actually commit and actually accomplish those resolutions.
And why is that?
You know, a lot of times they set goals that are too big for them and they get defeated along the way. Sometimes they don't have the support that they need. So you really want to think about, you know, who's going to support me. And when you set the goals, you want to make them measurable, and you want to do them in chunks. You know, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time, right?
Right.
So you actually want to attack your goals the same way, one step, a little bit at a time.
Wow. Well, now, you know, diet and exercise, that seems to be the most popular, the most popular resolutions, don't you think?
2 of the most popular resolutions, yes. Of course, number 1 is losing weight, and number 2, do you believe it or not, is getting organized.
Oh, really? Well, I can believe it. If you took a look at my desk right now, and I was just thinking that this morning, how funny that you say that. Now, what if somebody wants to get organized, how do you suggest they approach that?
I think the same way you do with your life. You know, in order to get better organized, you really have to know what your priorities are.
Oh,
you know,
yes.
once you know what your priorities are, it's pretty easy to get organized. Sometimes we clutter our desk because we want to feel busy, want to look busy, but once you clear away all that stuff that you've already done, you put it away. If it's something that needs to be thrown out, just throw it out. But the easiest way to do that is to prioritize and know what's important to you, and the things that are important to you will be the things that end up on your desk.
Oh, wow. I love that. That is really great. Now, what if you, I was just kind of talking to everybody, what if, say they're driving down the road right now eating a donut that they promised themselves they wouldn't eat, or whatever they're doing, if you've already
It's never too late to start over again.
Okay. All right.
One of the things that we tell people is setbacks are going to happen. You're going to have those days that just are not good, where you fall off for whatever reason. There's always an opportunity to start over again. Just take advantage of the next moment. Don't let a temporary setback hold you down and make you feel like you failed. There's no such thing as failure until you stop trying.
I love that. No such thing as failure until you stop trying. That is fabulous. That is really, really good. And plus, if it's for the new year, you have the whole year to accomplish the goal, right?
That's right. You have the whole year, and that's why it's so important that to take your goals and to break them down to simple, small, measurable increments. Have checkpoints, and know that you're working towards the end of the year, right? So if I know my goal is to lose 50 pounds or 60 pounds, let's just say, and I give myself a whole year, I can start from where I want to be at the end of the year and work back. Work back. So month 12, month 11, so on and so forth, and just keep working back so I know where I need to be this first month.
Right. Though that is
You'll
very
find it
good.
less frustrating and easier to achieve.
Now, you're a world champion martial arts person. Tell everybody about your history
story?
there. Yeah.
Yeah. My goal, I've been doing martial arts since I was a child, since I started at age 10. And by the time I was graduating high school, I had set a goal to become a world champion by age 22. And I was, bold, crazy, I don't know what you want to call it, enough to say it in my high school yearbook. I actually wrote to be world champion by age 22. Along the way, I started competing and doing my thing, and I had a car accident, and the doctors told me I'd never be able to do martial arts ever again. And it was quite devastating, as you can imagine. And I was able to overcome my injuries and actually come back and accomplish my dream of becoming a world champion by age 22, like I set out to do, representing the United States team.
Wow. And what did you find? I mean, where did you go deep within yourself to be able to bring yourself out of that situation?
Well, there were a couple of things that I realized. I think the first thing that I realized is you don't regret in life the things that you do. You regret in life the things that you don't do. And I had to think about, well, what are my options here? I can totally give up and take my life in a different direction, or I can pursue this and figure out what I can do. There's always something we can do. One of my mentors used to tell me all the time is, don't let what you can do affect what you will do. What will you do? And it really doesn't matter what the obstacle is. It's more about what your commitment is. And that brings me to the last point, and something that really helped me was having a great coach, having somebody in my life that could support me, lead me, and direct me. And being in martial arts, my whole life I've always had a mentor, somebody I could turn to, ask for help or advice. And I think that's a really important thing. If you're struggling, if you're really having challenges, reach out. There's some great life coaches out there, or there's some great, health coaches out there. Find the coach that you need and be willing to work with them, and I think you'll get some great results that way.
Now, explain to us, is a life coach, is that like a counselor or like a trainer for yourself, or how would you describe it?
Yeah, it can be a trainer for yourself, but, life coaching is different from counseling and therapy. A coach, if you think about a coach actually teaches you specific techniques to get a specific result, right? They have systems in place that will help you. They ask questions to get you to figure out what it is you really want. And then they help you to get there, and they hold you accountable. And that's what a life coach does. And a lot of times, people avoid the accountability thing, but I have found in my life it's the best way to get a result. If you know at the end of the week, you and I are going to talk, and whatever you told me your goal was, if you got to actually accomplish that, and I'm going to hold you to the task, you're more likely to do it.
Right. Somebody to be accountable for. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Well, this is so very, very helpful because it can be a little bit overwhelming, and especially if you slip off of your goals, it kind of throws you off a little bit. You're also the author of The Self-Confidence Factor, A Parent's Guide to Bully Prevention. We want folks to check that out as well. Do you want to touch on that a little bit?
Sure. Bullying has been a major issue in our communities. 3.2 million children are affected by bullying. We saw bullying this last year in the NFL. Nobody's really immune to it is what we start to recognize. And so this was my effort to help people who didn't know how to deal with bullying to kind of have a resource, a place to go, a place to learn what to do if my child is experiencing this. Because I truly believe that parents, we are the first line in helping our child overcome, the bullying situations that they are truly confronted with. So this is a guide for parents, school teachers, educators, whoever really feels like they need it. But most importantly, it's about instilling self-confidence in our children and how we actually do that. And I give some real practical steps on how to accomplish that with your child.
Well, that is fantastic. And then one last thing, what's the difference between somebody who's like, I'm not good enough, I don't think I can do it, and somebody like yourself who says, I'm going to do it?
You just keep trying. You just keep trying. You really got to sometimes just kind of look deep within. Realize that we're all the same. I put my pants on one leg at a time. You put your pants on one leg at a time. At the end of the day, the only thing that separates us, the only thing that makes a difference is how somebody goes about doing what they do. Maybe they're a little bit more positive or optimistic, but the truth is, if you just keep trying, if you just keep swinging the bat, eventually you're going to hit a home run. And that's really the best advice I can give anybody. The other thing is, if somebody does need more help or would like to speak to me, they're welcome to reach out to me through my website, sifuromain.com. All
right. Tell us that website one more time.
Sure. It's Sifu, S-I-F-U, Romain, R-O-M-A-I-N.com.
Carl Romain, thank you so much for helping us out here this morning. We really appreciate it, and I hope you have a very happy new year.
Thank you. You too.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.